right, hello everyone, and welcome to the video for Monday morning. As I usually do, I am pre-recording this Sunday evening. I'll be uploading this in the morning, and so here we are, stars and standings for Week 11, and we are now at the Christmas break. So let's look at the renewed standings. Of course, I simplify this compared to all the columns you got in the Fed website. This is pretty simplified. Um, right now, real quick order of business to mention. Um, the last thing I heard from the league, they are pretty confident that they can get all the games that have been postponed so far rescheduled. If they can do that, then points will remain the uh, the primary tiebreaker as opposed to winning percentage. We talked about that a little bit last week. All right, so on top of the Empire Binghamton, they're starting to pull away. Yeah, there's a 17-point gap now between Binghamton and Watertown. So that's not going to change for a while anyway. Watertown would have to get on a heater and or Binghamton kind of cooled off for a while. So we'll see what happens there. Port Huron, by virtue of their 2 wins this weekend, they move into the third place spot, tied in points with Danbury, but they have more wins. So, hence, they are the third place or the third seed in the Empire right now, with Danbury being the fourth. Motor City still lurking in that fifth place spot. Um, kind of an up and down weekend. We'll talk about them Tuesday for power rankings on the Flash Audio Network. Um, revisit them a little bit. HC Venom, okay, they are still doing pretty well for everything that they've gone through this year. 6-8-1, still on the outside looking in, but there's only a 1 game differential, really. A regulation win being 3 points. The Venom could get themselves moved up in the standings. And then the Dashers, yeah, still struggling. 16-game losing streak right now. So they play a great 40-minute game. You just have to put it all together for a full 60. All right, the Continental, boost that up a little bit. The Zydeco hold on to first place by virtue of their wins this weekend. 3 points again, and Columbus gained a little bit of ground. Carolina fell back just a bit, but these 3 teams are still all within striking distance of each other. And Monroe really isn't that far behind. Monroe's they're offensively starting to buzz now, so watch out for them. The Bobcats, of course, they had their big 2-game sweep this last weekend over Carolina to solidify their fifth place spot for now. And Athens, oh yeah, they got off to the really fast start, and they've kind of cooled off lately. They're still getting points. They earned 2 points this weekend, but they were both overtime losses or shootout losses. So, yeah, they're starting to fall behind the pace a little bit. Of course, they've got a lot of games in hand. Everybody else has played, 22, 20 games, and they've played 14. So they have an opportunity. It's just a matter of whether they can take advantage of it. Mississippi still struggling in the basement. But yeah, that is where we are at right now. As you can see, again, in Baton Rouge, they've got a couple games on top of Columbus right now. Columbus and Carolina, though, still having very good seasons. Despite Carolina's setback this last weekend, they're going to be fine. They're going to be just fine. So no need to worry about them. All right, as far as stars go, there are a lot of players that ended up kind of on the same level. 4 points for the weekend, which, that's not bad for 2 games. So I ended up kind of playing Santa Claus and saying, usually I do 5 stars a week. Let's double that. Let's make it a 10. All right. So here are our 10 stars of the week. And I'm going to get my notes here. Um, never, never formal here. All right. So, people have asked me, by the way, how come you don't use like, some computer graphics or, put in some graphics, some pictures, some video footage. I could do that except for 2 things. A, I don't have the time to do all that editing. And B, I kind of like just keeping this kind of low budget, just very real, very simple. I don't want to overcomplicate things. So, anyway, back to this. So, Brendan Colgan. Okay, we're just going alphabetically by last name. That's the only order that there is here. Brendan Colgan, nice weekend. Played well in an overtime loss, and then ended up getting a shutout in a uh, in an overtime game. So yeah, 50th career win for Brendan Colgan. He does now lead all active goaltenders in that department. Also, 13 shutouts. Talked about this on yesterday's video a little bit. I don't know why. A whole bunch of shutouts are missing on the stat page. If you go to the Fed webpage and you look up Brendan's stats, there's a whole lot of stuff missing. He now has 13 career shutouts with those 50 wins. So, not bad. Anyway, yeah, goals against 138, saved 85 of 88 shots on the weekend. All right, Danik Druin. He was the big standout one of 2 standouts for the Carolina Thunderbirds, as he ended up netting a goal plus 4 helpers on the weekend. So he was the only player to score 5 points this last weekend. Not bad. David Gaeta, one of the 3 heads of that 3-headed monster that the Venom have. He thought he had a goal, but it ended up being a tip. So he only gets an assist. But 4 assists on the weekend. He is the playmaker on that line. Who was Adam Oates, had a great NHL career setting up other guys and racking up a ton of assists. David Gaeta is the Adam Oates of the Fed. Sean Kuhn, excuse me. I always say Kuhn. I don't know why. Sean Kuhn of the Moccasins. Excellent weekend. Saves 61 of 65. That's a 938 save percentage. 138 goals against, just like his counterpart from this last weekend, Brendan Colgan. And of course, he gets the 1 win. Kuhn continues to have an excellent season and is a big reason why Monroe's had the success that they have had so far this year. Trevor Lord for the Watertown Wolves. He is the de facto leader on this team right now. He's the heart and soul guy, and he led by example in a very tumultuous week. He really stood up, head and shoulders above everyone else, helped everyone get their breaths, collect their breaths, and just go back out and playing Watertown Wolves hockey. And he ended up with a goal, 2 assists, and a shootout winner. So a very good weekend indeed for Trevor Lord. Reggie Millette from the Port Huron Prowlers ended up being their big scorer for the weekend, a goal and 3 helpers. So Millette is one of the big key offensive cogs that the Prowlers are counting on to help boost their offensive production. and we'll see if he can keep pace with this last week. Um, yep, there's that familiar name again, Mantis Norika. Uh, you can't stop the guy. He is just unstoppable right now. Incredible, leading the league now with 20 goals in 16 games. 15, excuse me, 15 games. Incredible. Um, he could be the first guy to hit 50 goals since Yaroslav Yevdokimov. You knew I had to bring up that name sooner or later. All right, but Norika, yes, a hat trick and an assist in the win over the Wolves on Friday night. He continues to lead the way. All right, for the Carolina Thunderbirds, Peter Panachek, he had himself a great weekend, 2 goals and 2 assists to do his part to try and lead Carolina to the victory. They came up a little short this weekend, but certainly wasn't the fault of either Danik Drouin uh, or Peter Panachek. Both had an excellent weekend. Noah Robinson for the Danbury hat tricks, a goal and 3 assists. Had that really quick goal on Friday night, and then added 3 helpers throughout the rest of the weekend. So excellent weekend for the hat trick player Noah Robinson, and finally TJ Sneath of the Motor City Rockers, 2 goals and 2 assists over 2 nights this last weekend. Actually, now I think of it, he got all of those points against Danbury on Friday night. Didn't have any points in the loss to Binghamton, but he certainly played his part, got a couple of shots on goal for a team that only generated 18 shots in that second game. So Sneath had a very good weekend indeed. So there you go. There are the 10 stars of the week for week 11. So coming up this week, of course, taking a couple days off. Tuesday um, we will have power rankings on the Flash Audio Network. Depending on what happens over the next 24 hours or so, I might do a news and notes video live on Facebook on Tuesday, but I'm not sure. That's a maybe, a hard maybe. And then the next thing we'll have is Friday. We'll be back on the Flash Audio Network with previews and predictions. All right, so I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. Thank you so much for kind of coming along with me on this ride, journeying through the Fed. Really appreciate it, and appreciate all your support. Hit like and subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll catch up with you soon. Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. We'll see you down the road.